In the tense and ever-shifting arena of Indo-Pacific geopolitics, a new chapter is unfolding, one that could redefine the balance of power in this critical region. The Indo-Pacific, home to some of the world's busiest sea lanes and most contested waters, has become a focal point for global security concerns. Against this backdrop, a new U.S. bill has emerged, marking a significant turning point in American foreign policy and military engagement in Asia. U.S. lawmakers have proposed an unprecedented $2.5 billion in annual military aid to the Philippines. This is the largest American investment in Philippine defense in decades, signaling a renewed commitment to the alliance and a recognition of the Philippines' strategic importance. The Philippine Enhanced Resilience Act, or PERA, comes at a time of escalating maritime disputes and increasingly assertive Chinese actions in the South China Sea. The waters here are not just a flashpoint for regional players, but a test of international resolve. Recent confrontations at Second Thomas Shoal have pushed regional tensions to the brink, with near-daily standoffs and growing risks of miscalculation or conflict. This aid package is Washington's answer, a clear and unmistakable statement of support for its oldest Asian ally, and a message to the world that the U.S. stands by its commitments. The $500 million per year over 5 years is designed not just to provide equipment, but to transform the Philippines into a more resilient and capable security partner. It will fund advanced training, joint exercises, and the modernization of Philippine forces. PERA places the Philippines at the very heart of America's Indo-Pacific strategy, linking its security directly to the stability of the entire region. The Philippines becomes a linchpin in efforts to maintain a free and open Indo-Pacific. This is about more than just hardware. It's a strategic investment in deterrence, in partnership, and in the credibility of the U.S.-Philippines alliance. It's about ensuring that this alliance remains a living, breathing guarantee of mutual defense. As the world watches closely, this bold proposal is already beginning to reshape the region's security landscape, sending ripples far beyond the shores of the Philippines and into the global conversation about peace, power, and the future of the Indo-Pacific. The South China Sea is now the epicenter of rising tensions, a vast expanse of water that has become a flashpoint for regional and even global power struggles. This critical waterway through which trillions of dollars in trade pass each year is now a stage for military posturing and diplomatic standoffs. China's sweeping territorial claims, marked by its so-called nine-dash line, directly clash with international law and the sovereignty of neighboring countries, especially the Philippines. The Permanent Court of Arbitration in The Hague ruled against China's claims in 2016, but Beijing has refused to recognize the verdict, intensifying the dispute. The Philippines, defending its remote outposts, like the grounded BRP Sierra Madre at Second Thomas Shoal, faces relentless harassment from Chinese vessels. Filipino sailors stationed on these isolated outposts endure constant pressure, with supply lines frequently threatened. These confrontations, ranging from water cannons to dangerous close-quarters maneuvers, are not isolated incidents, but rather a regular occurrence in these contested waters. They are part of a broader pattern of so-called gray zone tactics, designed to intimidate, harass, and gradually erode Philippine control without triggering outright war. Chinese maritime militia and Coast Guard ships often swarm Filipino fishing and supply boats, creating a climate of fear and uncertainty. Each resupply mission to these outposts becomes a test of Manila's resolve and the courage of its sailors, who must navigate not only treacherous waters but also the ever-present threat of Chinese interference. President Marcos Jr. has made these encounters public, using them to rally both domestic and international support. By highlighting these incidents, the Philippines seeks to draw global attention to its plight and build alliances. The U.S.-Philippines Mutual Defense Treaty, signed in 1951, is now under the spotlight as never before. This decades-old agreement is being tested by the current crisis. Washington has clarified that any armed attack on Philippine forces in the South China Sea will trigger mutual defense commitments, signaling a strong warning to Beijing. The repeated Chinese harassment has forced the U.S. to move from words to action, with American warships and aircraft carriers now making their presence felt in the region. The urgency is real. Tangible support, including military aid and joint exercises, is now on the table, strengthening the Philippines' ability to defend its interests. The stakes for regional stability have never been higher. As more countries voice concern and increase their presence, the South China Sea remains a potential flashpoint with global implications. PERA is designed to systematically build up the Philippines' defense over 5 years, with $500 million annually. Unlike past sporadic aid, this predictable funding enables real strategic planning for the armed forces of the Philippines. The focus modern naval assets, coastal defense systems, and advanced surveillance to secure the West Philippine Sea. Anti-ship missiles, radar, and unmanned systems will create a credible deterrent against aggression. PERA also modernizes the Army and Air Force, improving command, control, and intelligence capabilities. This marks a shift from counterterrorism to external defense, recognizing that the main threat is now state-level coercion. The alliance is maturing, adapting to 21st century realities. PERA is the blueprint for a stronger, frontline Philippine military. PERA isn't just about hardware, it's about forging a seamless U.S.-Philippines military partnership. The Act funds joint training, intelligence sharing, and professional military education, building a more capable and interoperable force. Exercises like Balikatan will expand, focusing on live fire drills and complex maritime scenarios. Intelligence sharing and technology transfer will give Manila a clearer picture of its maritime domain. Institutional reforms will modernize logistics, procurement and leadership within the AFP. The U.S. is investing in the human capital of its ally, not just its arsenal. This comprehensive approach is what makes PERA transformative. The alliance is evolving into a truly collaborative defense partnership. In a divided Washington, PERA stands out for its rare bipartisan backing. Lawmakers from both parties see China's actions as a direct challenge to the rules-based order and American credibility. This consensus assures Manila that U.S. support is durable, transcending administrations and election cycles. It gives the Philippines confidence to plan long-term defense modernization. The unified front in Congress sends a strong signal to Beijing. The U.S. stands united with its ally. Political solidarity amplifies the impact of military aid, reinforcing the alliance's strategic depth. PERA is more than policy, it's a statement of enduring partnership. The $2.5 billion aid package is a strategic investment for both nations. For the Philippines, it means real modernization, credible deterrence, better surveillance, and stronger coastal defense. This boosts Manila's leverage in negotiations and protects vital resources and livelihoods. For the U.S., a stronger Philippines is a critical anchor in the first island chain, complicating any adversary's plans. It enables integrated deterrence, where empowered allies share the security burden. By investing in Philippine capabilities, Washington strengthens the entire regional alliance network. This is a down payment on Indo-Pacific stability. Both nations' core interests are served. Strengthening the U.S.-Philippines alliance has ripple effects across the Indo-Pacific, especially for Taiwan's security. As the United States and the Philippines deepen their military cooperation, the entire region feels the impact. This partnership not only signals a renewed commitment to collective defense, but also sends a clear message to potential adversaries about the resolve of both nations to uphold peace and stability. The Philippines' proximity to Taiwan via the Bashi Channel makes it a strategic partner in any regional contingency. The narrow Bashi Channel serves as a vital maritime gateway between the South China Sea and the Pacific Ocean, making control over this area crucial in times of crisis. Any movement through this channel is closely watched, and the Philippines' location gives it a front-row seat to developments around Taiwan. Enhanced U.S. access to northern Philippine bases and a modernized AFP complicate China's military calculus. With upgraded facilities and joint training, the Philippines can now host more U.S. forces and advanced equipment, making it harder for China to predict or counter Allied moves. This increased readiness and interoperability raise the stakes for any potential conflict in the region. The Philippines can now help secure Taiwan's southern flank, raising the costs of any potential aggression. By participating in joint patrols and exercises, the Philippines demonstrates its willingness to defend not just its own territory, but also contribute to the broader security of the region. This added layer of defense makes any hostile action riskier and more complicated for adversaries. This transforms the Philippines into an active player in regional security. No longer just a bystander, the country is now a key contributor to multilateral defense efforts, working alongside allies to deter threats and maintain stability throughout Southeast Asia. By reinforcing the first island chain, the U.S. closes a critical gap in its defensive line. The first island chain stretches from Japan through Taiwan and the Philippines, forming a natural barrier against potential adversaries. Strengthening this line with new bases, patrols, and alliances makes it much harder for hostile forces to project power into the Pacific. Other Southeast Asian nations see this as renewed U.S. commitment, emboldening their own stances. As Washington steps up its presence, countries like Vietnam, Malaysia, and Indonesia feel more confident in asserting their own interests and cooperating on security matters, knowing they have strong backing. For Japan and South Korea, it secures vital sea lanes. These maritime routes are the lifeblood of their economies, carrying energy supplies and goods. Enhanced security ensures that trade can flow freely, even in times of tension, reducing the risk of disruption. PERA is a regional security multiplier, reshaping the Indo-Pacific landscape. By fostering cooperation, building capacity, and deterring aggression, this alliance network is transforming the balance of power and creating a more resilient, secure region for all. The new aid package and alliance upgrades are recalibrating the Indo-Pacific balance of power. For years, China's gray zone tactics shifted the status quo. Now the US and its allies are pushing back. This isn't about confrontation, but restoring credible deterrence. A modernized Philippine military backed by US commitment changes Beijing's cost-benefit analysis. The US-Philippines Mutual Defense Treaty is now a living security guarantee, not just a relic. Concrete actions, funding, base access, joint drills, make the alliance's resolve unmistakable. The region is moving toward a more stable, multipolar equilibrium, where smaller nations can better defend their sovereignty. The tides are shifting toward a more resilient, rules-based order. The Philippine Enhanced Resilience Act is a clear statement of U.S. strategic intent. It marks a new era for the alliance, one of proactive deterrence and deep cooperation. The focus on both hardware and institutional reform ensures a resilient, integrated partnership. Bipartisan support in Washington signals a long-term commitment. By reinforcing a key ally, the U.S. is upholding the rules-based order and recalibrating regional power. The U.S.-Philippines Mutual Defense Treaty is revitalized, its commitments real and actionable. The Indo-Pacific strategic landscape has been fundamentally altered.